Today was kind of a pretty blasé workout. Did 175 for 5 sets of 5 on the front squats. So it's something, relatively easy. It is starting to get a little more difficult. I will say that. I'm feeling the squats a little bit more in my glutes than I would normally on a back squat, especially at this weight. I think it has to do with just how deep I'm getting with the squats and the better hip activation that I'm getting with them. The weight itself isn't difficult by any means, but I think the just getting the weight up in the movement and just pushing this further and further right now with not a whole lot of prior exposure to it is causing it to feel like a little hard. It's kind of hard to describe because it's not hard. This weight's fairly easy, only 175 pounds. This is a pretty easy weight for me to move on any lift at this point, outside of like bench. But it just feels different, and that's probably just because of the leverages and having to activate different muscle groups, like focusing primarily on the hips and more so than I do with my back squats. And I'm trying to keep myself upright to where I'm not going to be dumping the bar. So there's a lot of thinking with that as well. But it's going well. I do feel there is some carryover going through to like my deadlift and everything, because I'm having to get I'm working like always force myself in a lower position with them, and the front squats are at least getting me better at sitting in a lower position while upright, and then being able to activate my hips, quads, and hamstrings to finish a lift. And at least one thing I can see from here is that my bar path is super straight, which is really nice to see. There's not a whole lot of wobbling back and forth. It's all over the middle of my foot, so it's not leaning forward, it's not tilting back. It's just a nice up and down line going through the rep. So doing pretty much exactly what it should be. If I had a more perfect side view, you'd probably be able to see it a little bit more easily, but I can at least tell from here, just looking at the distance of the end of the bar compared to the squat rack, more or less in a straight line whenever I'm going through and doing my reps. So there's not a whole lot of travel with it, which is good. Nice to see some stability, and I am getting some core activation from this as well, but nothing too crazy. Only did a few sets of deadlifts today, just kind of letting myself recover a little bit after hitting a pretty big PR on Saturday. So just doing some conventional deadlifting, a set of 5 at 135, then a set of 5 at 225, set of 3, 315, and then a single at 405. One thing I focused on was just exploding off the ground with the 220 with the sets, so that way I could just use more energy focusing on the descent and control coming down with the weight, because I usually don't do that too much. Usually right around mid shin I kind of come down with the weight pretty heavy, and I wanted to work on having a little bit more control with that going forward. I was just kind of practicing that a little bit. Maybe not the best every single time, but did what I could to keep it consistent throughout. 315 felt still pretty easy. The 135 and 225 just kind of flew up, and this one felt like it flew up as well. And not as fast as the other ones because it's a bit more weight, but still there's not a whole lot of effort going into moving picking it up. It's just up and down real quick. Moved over to 405. I think at this point I'm able to pretty much pull 405 at will, which is it's a pretty nice feeling on a deadlift bar to be able to do that. I still need to work on my positioning a little bit with it, but it seems like it's there's not much fight to it anymore. It's something that's firmly in my wheelhouse. And it wasn't the cleanest 405 rep, but I figured, hey, I'm going to just try to see what happens, go for 440, because I know that I at least have the strength for it. And here on this one, I got it off of the ground, but I wasn't able to pull it any further, which is kind of rare, because typically if I can break it, I can lock it out. And it came off the ground, probably just like a couple millimeters, but not enough to really get going with it. So something to start with, but Not going too crazy today, just so I can work on recovering just a little bit. Not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow, or tomorrow on Thursday. I might do some conventional block pulls, to be honest. I haven't done those in a while, and kind of curious what my hips can do on a deadlift bar now instead of doing it with a trap bar. I'm suspicious I might be able to get up to the mid 400s or up to closer to 500 on the block pulls with that. So I'll definitely give that a try. I might use the figure eight straps. I might just use the regular wrist straps. I'm not sure. Both are going to be equally supportive, but the figure eight straps will let me do a little bit more weight because you get that little extra give in the strap to use compared to the regular wrist straps. But it's going well. I'm probably going to start adding back in the chest workouts and the shoulder workouts just because I was really just trying to hammer deadlifts for the past month and a half since I was on this really good tear to just really improve and add strength and get more familiarity with higher weights, and work on kind of maybe focusing on my bench for a while or on my on my overhead press and building that strength up, because I really never have strong training blocks with those. And if you really want to get better with them, you need to press 2 or 3 times a week, every single week, almost at minimum, to do that. So I don't know, I'll look into it, figure out what I want to do, and go from there.